And it's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff about what goes on Willie Nelson's bus, and Willie has not read the book by his own admission. So,
no, Willie has
I haven't read the ending. I've read up until...
He's read where you're smoking a joint the size of a large kosher salami, I think, about halfway through the book.
Yeah, and it was kind of like the power of suggestion. I closed the book and I hadn't got it yet.
Now you've read half of it, I think.
Hmm?
Well, I think you've...
yeah, I read, the first part. I know the last part's got to be as good as the first part. But I don't want to know the ending,
No, I don't want to, nor do I wish to demystify the book for you at this time.
Well, Willie doesn't die in the book, does he?
Well, Willie's life is like a Bible story. I mean, everyone thinks they know it's a happy ending, they know what it is, and it's a challenge for a mystery writer, because I've got to imagine what might be in his mind. And see, there's a very thin line between fiction and nonfiction.
In my mind, there's a very thin line.
And as a writer, so we cross over that daily, and of course, I write with a total disregard for the reader. I mean, I just am writing what I feel.
You don't care what the reader
I don't care, no.
I see.
No.
And that, in a way, is a very pure artistic thing to do. I want to write like Oscar Wilde behind bars. I don't want to be one of these nerds that's just a best-selling formulaic writer. I'm not interested in that. I'm really not.
Like your friend Patricia Cornwell, so.
Right. Fish Cornhole, yeah.
When they buy a book, do they get a new album? Is that the deal?
Well,
Have you started that one? Yeah, that's a pretty good one. If you buy a book, you get the new Kinky album. It's got all the...
Well, the new Kinky album.
It's
not out. No, obviously it's not out, Don, since you're our main repository of you're our record company. Well, it is. It's on Kinkajou Records out of Nashville.
Are
but
you
you're
going to do that with the Pope?
Well, we could have a cut.
The only thing we have played is Willie's version of Ride 'em Jew Boy,
right?
Which is a classic version.
Well, we have 8 cuts, of which you've heard about 7 of them.
I heard your new best friend, Dwight Yoakam. For years, Kinky described Dwight Yoakam as Buck Owens' butt boy. Until you were with a Giesenslaws in Austin or someplace, and Dwight Yoakam was there for some reason. And he talked to Kinky. And then suddenly, Dwight Yoakam became a genius.
Well, no, Dwight and I carry on long of these fair and young phone calls, which are at 4 o'clock in the morning and we discuss many interesting subjects. I mean, this guy's a very interesting guy. He's been a vegetarian for you. Be interested to know. He's
but you
a vegetarian for 20 years.
My point was you had dismissed Dwight Yoakam for years.
Yes, I did.
You're talking to him at 4 in the
Everybody that I trash winds up helping me out and being my friend. I mean, if I say bad things, I was saying, talking about the Lyle Lovett starter kit, and I was making a lot of fun of Lyle Lovett. And now Lyle is on the record with us on this. So if I say good things about people, they usually don't help me. No, they're not.
So all that funny stuff you're saying about the Pope, and he might just come back and just say, Kink, let me do something with you.
Well, if Bob Dylan can play for the Pope, the Kinkster might do it. Except I'm not a big believer in the Pope. I don't believe that. I mean, don't try to suck me into some religious diatribe that's going to... I mean, I'm not a politician. Yeah, I'm an author. I can say whatever I want to say. I don't give a damn. They buy the book, they don't buy the book, right?
Larry, do you have any details of this appearance with the Pope?
No, it's totally short on details.
Sketchy
it's
details.
Some ecclesiastical council thing, and
you're playing with Bob Dylan on this gig.
Yeah, Joni Mitchell was asked to do it. I'm not sure whether she's doing it.
Well, then that diminishes the importance of it. I'm sure she's a nice young woman, but
however,
when you play for the Pope, can you sell T-shirts and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, can you?
Sure, why not?
The Pope.
Oh, I know.
Pardon me.
Is it like one of those royal, the concerts they used to have? I guess they do. Where folks go to the White House. You've done that, right?
Yeah.
So is it like that?
No, they wheel the Pope in on a gurney and you'll do the thing.
All I've heard is we're going to be on stage. The Pope's going to be sitting stage left through this whole thing, and there's us and a bunch of Italian musical artists there. And
how many songs will you be doing? Do you know that?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
One song.
That could be one.
It's a Gregorian chant.
Has there been any discussion about what you would do?
Rainy Day Women, probably, everybody must get stoned.
Do you have any dialogue with Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
And how does that work? I mean...
He's a surprisingly regular guy,
And he's lucid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was, he was sick for a while,
Yeah, I know that. I'm glad he's better.
Yeah.
Does he ask you a lot of questions about Imus?
Well, not regularly, but
it comes up.
Well, that would not be my concern, as it would be yours.
Now, I just want one thing from Bob, and that is to do a song for this CD project.
You can plug it every
He's
night,
already
too,
he's
with
already
it.
pledged that he'll do it, and I just want him to follow through on it.
He's going to do it every night on the show.
What do you guys want to sing now? What do you want to sing, Willie?
I don't care.
How about, what do you want to do, Willie?
I don't care.
How about
Yeah.
Wait It, Please Wait It again?
No, that's
Request.
repulsive.
How about Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain?
Oh, man.
Something like that.
You know, another one I love is that Elvis one you did. What was that? I'm just tired. I can't think of it.
Always on my mind?
Yeah.
Well,
That's a great
what do you
song.
want to do?
God,
Great
that was
song.
Do that instead.
Which one you want to hear?
always, huh?
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. I guess I never told you that I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind.
Jesus, that's better than a record.
Oh, man. That's just great.
Willie Nelson and I was on my mind here on the Imus Morning program. We're talking with Willie and Kinky Friedman and Larry Campbell. Kinky's new book is called Roadkill. The new novel from Simon & Schuster. And Kinky and Willie will be over at Barnes & Noble today, Rockefeller Center. It's on 5th Avenue at around 48th Street. Kinky and Willie will be going in a side entrance.
Yeah, the secret entrance.
Secret entrance.
Kennedy entrance.
Yeah,
That's
the Kennedy entrance to
This
the
way,
kitchen.
Mr. Kennedy, right through the kitchen. 12:30 to 1:30. We're going to sign them little boogers for you.
We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Well, a redneck nerd in a bowling shirt was a guzzling Lone Star beer, talking religion and politics for all the world to hear. They ought to send you back to Russia, boy, or New York City one. You just want to doodle a Christian girl and you kill God's only son.
Imus in the morning.
98.1 The Peak. WPEK.
Living life the right way.
Out of his way to not enunciate the words, and I don't understand that. I mean, what is the point? I mean, maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm just lame. I'm just not with it. But I just don't understand. So as long as somebody has taken the trouble to write these words,
This is an
sing them.
interpretive album. It's an interpretive album. Everybody does it the way they. We're going after K.D. Lang now to do "Get Your Biscuits in the Oven and Your Buns in the Bed," because the record is largely, it's turning into a gay men's choir. You know, we got 10 men on the record, and we need a few broads. You know, and then we'll wrap it. And then if you write the liner notes, great title, "Pearls in the Snow."
How about old Winona?
She'd be a good one, wouldn't she?
She will.
You know who's going to be on the show? Lori Morgan.
She's great. Yeah.
On this show? Oh, great.
Well,
When
she's
is
got
it?
a book, of course.
Yeah?
That's the deal.
Yeah.
So,
She came up and sang with me. We did the Supper Club here in New York a few weeks ago, and she came up and we did a song together. We did a George Morgan song.
her dad.
Candy
Yeah.
Kisses, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to her dad. It's weird how that gene thing works out, doesn't it?
It does work out.
I mean, in some cases, it didn't work out in Hank Williams Jr.'s case.
Well, that way.
My wife one time, we were listening to a Hank Williams Jr. album, and there was some song he had about, and there was a line in it about cow poo on your jeans. She said, I can't believe this. She likes Hank Sr., but
Well, it's a problem if you're Hank Jr. Every night somebody comes backstage and they say, you were good, but you'll never be as good as your daddy.
Yeah.
And that just got to Hank Jr. and he just,
fell off a mountain over it,
yeah,
or whatever.
well,
So you were,
I'm starting to feel pretty good.
and we only got a couple minutes here. You were,
Selfless gesture.
so you were genuinely touched by the death of Princess Diana.
I was, and I'm a little surprised that you didn't seem to ID with it that heavily. And of course, maybe you were still emotionally spent from the Versace funeral. I don't know, but I personally,
How about Mother Teresa?
I don't think Mother Teresa is trying to save souls, and Diana was trying to help people to do good. There's a big difference there. Mother Teresa wants to save souls for Jesus.
Well, that's idiotic. I mean, Mother Teresa was going around.
Mother Teresa was
Picking
friends
up
with baby Doc Duvalier.
Well, that's-
I mean, why should I trash this woman? I mean, she died.
Well, that's
She went to
idiotic.
Jesus 2
You're an
days
idiot.
ago. Oh, I'm not running down a
Yes, you are.
4'8" dead person now.
Yeah, well, you're a.
I'm just saying that her interest was to save souls for Jesus. She didn't care.
I
She
don't
had a
think
death
that. No,
factory going there,
no.
and
I don't
Princess
think that's
Diana
true. I don't
wanted to
think.
help people.
I think you're crazy.
No, it's absolutely
Well,
true.
Mother Teresa was picking these lepers up out of the gutter and taking them back and fixing them up and helping them die with some sort of dignity.
Yeah, if they would-
She didn't give a damn whether they hooked up with the
she
baby
did.
Jesus. Well, maybe she did.
Yeah,
but-
she did. She that was the whole thing, how many souls she could save for Jesus. You know, when the Pope sent Mother Teresa out to Los Angeles to cover that area
Yes.
for a little while, and he called her a few months later to see how things were going, and she wasn't there. He got her answering machine and said,
No, she didn't.
and it said, hi, this is Terry. I'm not around the phone right now.
No, you're just an idiot.
But your call is important to me.
Yeah.
If you will
So you think? Well, so here we have
This
this
is
Mother
terrible.
Teresa was a living saint, and you think that Princess Diana did more?
I think she's a mouthpiece for the Vatican. Yes, she's a good Catholic, and that's all I can say about her.
Well, I mean,
I have to be honest with you. Princess Diana has touched my heart. She really has.
Well, you're just shallow.
No, I'm not. I'm a very, very
buffoon.
complex.
And a former friend now of mine.
All this over Mother Teresa?
No,
Yes,
no,
yes.
nothing would come between us. But
You're just being a buffoon.
at this point, but
This is silly. You're being a fool.
Well, I'm not running down Mother Teresa. I'm just.
no, of course not.
I'm just saying Princess Diana has a pure love, I think. I mean, this is really a stupid thing to try to.
Well,
suck
yeah,
the king's
it's an
into.
idiotic position to take. I mean,
And here we
you're
have Willie
foolish.
Nelson such a selfless gesture to come to New York to help the Kingster promote his book,
Just remember Elvis's final words.
which were.
Corn.
98.1 The Peak. WPEK.
CNN Radio News, I'm Aileen McDonald. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright is in the Middle East on what some call an impossible mission, bringing Israelis and Palestinians back to the peace table.
August in the Morning News Time is now 7 minutes after the hour. Time for some of our world and national news. And among the top stories, still the situation in the wake of the Diana tragedy. A French newspaper, Le Parisien, reporting apparently the last words that the princess spoke before she died in the automobile were, "Leave me alone, leave me alone." The newspaper quoting the doctor who came across the scene there and treated Diana. Diana, he said, appeared initially to have suffered only minor injuries. The doctor said she was very agitated and semi-conscious when he found her and repeatedly murmured, "Oh my God." As paramedics worked on her, firefighters tried to free her body from the mangled wreckage. Photographers were snapping pictures, he said, just inches from her face. The doctor reported that just before an oxygen mask was placed over her face, Diana said, leave me alone," and then slipped into unconsciousness. Paris authorities are confirming reports that the driver of the car had taken antidepressants before the crash. And a new blood test also backs up earlier reports showing that he was, in fact, legally drunk at the time of the accident. Donations to Princess Diana's favorite charities, meantime, are pouring in at a rate of $15,000 an hour, pushing the total now to the $200 million mark. The Princess Diana Memorial Fund has set up phone lines that can handle 3,600 calls at once. Among the U.S. charities expected to benefit from all of this, the Ronald McDonald House, Breast Cancer and AIDS Research Centers, and Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity. Diana's family yesterday urged people to stop leaving flowers outside the Princess of Wales' ancestral home and also Kensington Palace where she had lived and make a charitable donation in her memory instead. Mourners are remembering a special day in Mother Teresa's life. They gathered today to mark the 51st anniversary of the day she heard a call from God to devote her life to the poor and suffering. The private mass was held at the Calcutta Church, where Mother Teresa's body lies in state until Saturday's funeral. Mother Teresa has told her biographers the epiphany came in 1946 when she was a nun teaching in church schools. Later, she opened her first school for poor children and then went on to found soup kitchens and homeless shelters around the world. 11 people have lost their lives in a fiery crash on a winding coastal highway near Santa Barbara, California. Authorities say a pickup truck and a van full of people collided head-on during the night. Officials say the road has a lot of blind curves and is very dangerous in the dark. Highway 1 there. Another execution in the state of Texas. The 26th so far this year. Texas continuing to extend its single-year record for executions conducted. James Carl Lee Davis died by lethal injection for the rape of a 15-year-old neighbor girl, then beating her and her 2 younger brothers to death. Reporter Mike Grasick witnessed the execution.
There were 2 witnesses on Davis's side of the chamber who looked through a window to see the punishment carried out. He looked at them, told them they were in his heart, and he wished them well, and he coughed a couple times, gasped, and then was put to death.
Davis had lived next door to his victims in Austin, Texas. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright has put a human touch on her diplomatic mission to the Middle East, visiting a Jerusalem hospital today, where she met with some Americans and Israelis wounded in recent...
It's a new low, I think, on this program.
Why?
With Kinky Friedman describing Mother Teresa as a mouthpiece for the Vatican.
What is it?
Kinky's a mouthpiece for unfunny morons.
What is he thinking about?
I don't know. I just don't.
He did just kind of lose it there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
You could just see it, the descending spiral.
Just to veer off into an area of idiocy. Suggesting that Princess Diana, who did a great deal of good. I acknowledge that.
No question.
What?
But to suggest that that Mother Teresa is, it's just ludicrous.
Her primary purpose in life was to try to convert people to Jesus, which I guess may have been a goal of hers.
Well, of course, but
it really was to help people die with dignity, or to provide. I mean,
to help the suffering and the poorest of the poor, which she did from, as you said, we just talked about, from 1946 forward.
Yeah, 48th and 5th Avenue today at 12:30. They'll be going in the secret entrance there.
Yeah,
signing copies of Kinky's. That's a funny book, Roadkill. So, but I mean. The only thing I would say about Kinky, which is why he has been my friend for well over 20 years, is he is not politically correct. He will say what he thinks.
There's a demonstration today.
Yeah, so, I mean, you may think he's a moron, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
He's not concerned with that.
He does not care what you think.
No.
Absolutely not.
But that's just the most insipid, idiotic observation that he's ever made about anything. And he calls me occasionally to try to get an update from me on my observations of the Ramsey case.
Yeah.
The Jean-Benet Ramsey case, which I have no interest in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that the little girl was murdered, obviously.
Certainly.
And have no idea who did it. You know, there's a guy on a radio in Denver, Peter Boyles, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should talk to... I see him on these shows occasionally. And he appears to be somebody who's on top of all this. Do we have any interest in it at all?
Only if the I-Man does.
A mouthpiece for the Vatican.
Well, yes, but what did you expect from Kinky?
I didn't expect that, frankly. No. I didn't expect him to think that Princess Diana, was helping more people than he suspected that Mother Teresa's sole motivation was simply to try to save souls for Jesus.
Yeah. And not really, and that therefore ancillary to that effort would have been helping the poor and the lepers and the AIDS.
Yeah, which is just an idiotic position to take.
I mean,
that's the dumbest thing that Kinky's ever said.
Possibly so. Quite possibly so.
I mean, just offensively idiotic. But
probably thinks Liz Taylor's a great woman.
But do you understand that?
No, I don't. No, I don't. You can't understand. Of course not.
I've known him for over 20 years. That's the only thing he's ever said that I was actually shocked.
I could tell you were. Genuinely.
I mean, Mama Terry took some money from some folks like Baby Doc and some other folks, but I mean, what difference does it make to her?
Well,
she was not a political person or anything else. She wanted to get the money to help the folks.
And him suggesting that she was palsy-wowsy with Baby Doc DeValier.
Yeah, hanging with Judge Ito and Charles Keating is preposterous. Kinky and Willie Nelson will be together today at 12:30 over at Barnes & Noble, 48th and 5th Avenue. They're going in the side entrance, the Kennedy entrance, through the kitchen there. And you can line up there in front and get a copy of Roadkill signed by both Willie and Kinky. And I imagine Willie's book will be available there, his autobiography, you know.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
Good idea.
Are you still persisting in trying to save WNEWFM, this classic rock? It's Kinky on Willie Nelson's bus, and somebody's trying to kill Willie. That's the plot of this novel. And but the thing that I found startling, almost, and troubling about it is how it gets into much of the personal life of Willie and reveals, a number of unfortunate incidents that are all true that Kinky was privy to aboard the bus, the Honeysuckle Rose.
That Willie himself has not.
And Willie has not read the book.
Yeah.
Now, why Willie would agree to promote this thing with Kinky is beyond me. And Willie has no explanation for it.
No.
They'll both be over at Barnes & Noble and at Rockefeller Center, 48th and 5th today at 12:30, signing copies of it. Maybe you can ask them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kinky, long toward the end of the hour they were on, I wanted to see how he genuinely felt about the death of Princess Diana, what his reaction was, rather, and then that of Mother Teresa, at which point Kinky disparaged Mother Teresa, describing her as a mouthpiece for the Vatican, a buddy pal of Baby Doc DeValier, and someone who essentially was only interested in saving souls for Jesus, as opposed to what we all thought she spent her life doing, and that was providing the abject poor and disadvantaged of this world a better way to leave it. So,
but no, not according to Kinky. That was all it was all a plot.
Yeah. All
that was a front.
Yeah. And that Princess Diana was the one who was really trying to help people.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa was simply trying to, further the agenda of the Vatican. I mean, just such a bizarre position to take.
Only Kinky.
That only somebody like Kinky, who is, by the way, not an idiot.
Oh, he's a brilliant guy.
He's brilliant, but in this particular instance, it just sounded stupid. I mean, it's just that's just a stupid observation to make. Foolish.
On Hollywood.
Idiotic observation to make.
Idiotic.
So, anyway. It's time now for the national news, and here with that is Charles McCord. That ought to be that is the news. Mother Teresa, a shill for the Pope.
Exactly. Just like with the oil. It's just stupid.
I mean, not even any way to address it, is
No,
it?
there's not.
No.
But we will, nevertheless.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Chuck will spend a couple hours beating on that typewriter and word processor, whatever he works on.
Whatever it is.
All right, what's the news deal?
Princes William and Harry returned to their boarding schools today, I-Man. It was the first day of school after summer vacation and, of course, after their mother, Princess Diana's death and funeral. And there's a French newspaper reporting today what apparently were Princess Diana's last words before she slipped into...
You wouldn't recognize that he's got a wonderful, wicked sense of humor.
Oh, droll.
He's a funny guy.
Dry and just terrific.
And a wonderful sport. And
just a sweet
Kinky
man.
and Willie today, if y'all get a chance, you're going to be in Manhattan. He'll be over at Barnes & Noble at 48th and 5th Avenue.
Yeah.
At Barnes & Noble at 12:30. Kinky and Willie Nelson. Has nice of Larry Campbell to come up.
Oh, absolutely.
Larry's latest project is playing guitar for Bob Dylan, and Larry's going to play with Mr. Dylan for the Pope.
Mm-hmm. But the details are kind of
according
fuzzy,
to Larry Campbell, Larry can be relied on to tell the truth. And what's the matter? No, the light box. There's a light flashing in this light box. Okay. It's MSNBC's problem.
Oh, all right.
So I tried to explain to those two morons in there.
But Mr. James was on the case, you know.
I know,
All over it, man.
Sure.
Way to go, Dick.
According to Larry Campbell, Bob Dylan is lucid.
Yeah.
And
enunciating well.
And yeah, better enunciating his tunes now. And is going to play for the Pope.
Okay.
Which I think will be a surprise to both of them.
Probably so.
Both
You're
Mr.
right.
Dillon and the Pope.
And His Holiness.
Yeah. I guess the Pope, well, we don't know what this is all about, but the Pope apparently, this is an effort of the Pope to hip himself up or something.
Yeah. To reach out to a younger audience.
So he gets somebody who's
Bob
older
Dylan.
than I am, Bob Dylan, to come sing for him.
Right.
No, God, well, I don't know. You can't make it up.
No.
So that's all. That's Autobot Express, sponsored by Mohegan Sun. I think we haven't made final arrangements yet, but I think there's a possibility that you'll be able to go with us out to Santa Fe, New Mexico on November 7th for the big opening of the Autobot Express new warehouse and a new retail store out there.
Huge.
Being put together by that's Skunk Ann Mullen and Joseph Abood.
Mm-hmm.
That rodent, Joseph Abood, and Skunk Ann Mullen.
Skunk and the rodent.
The skunk and the rodent are designing the retail outlet for the Autobot Express.
WPEK.
Now, and it's basically this bill. There's this high level of decency. The kids are being left alone. You don't see ugly.
Jesus God.
Why'd you blow up innocent little
is there a
Sonny
dumber person
Bono?
than Sonny Bono?
Joe Kennedy.
God, you leave my friend Joe Kennedy alone, by the way, Chrome Dome.
Oh, man. 71% of those...
I mean, what's with the Today Show, putting that moron on, and you know...
It's big stuff, huh?
He's a celebrity.
This is headline stuff.
He used to sing with Cher.
Come on.
What has happened to the MSNBC News with Brian Williams? It isn't any different, almost, than Access Hollywood, which, by the way, is a fine show now being hosted by the scummy Giselle Fernandez and the equally scummy Pat O'Brien. Well, I don't like O'Brien doing this. I don't know what I want him to do, but...
So it makes you uneasy, watching him in that role.
He's too smart. He's too talented.
Mm-hmm. Too good. Wow.
He should. I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to do it. I guess you got to do what you got to do. But why don't? Well, yeah, you do. I guess. But I just there's got to be a role someplace
other than that one.
You know. Mm-hmm. I don't know why we can't get him a job over at NBC Sports or something. Doing some studio deal there.
Don't know, because he's the best.
He really is the best at that.
He absolutely is.
Let Hannah Storm do some games, by the way. She's qualified for that.
Sure.
Same with some of those other people there. But I don't know. Anyway, it's just stressing. But the Today Show, what a disgrace. I just pray that we get an opportunity to get on adult television to just go up against those folks.
Yeah, big boy TV.
Get on a big boy TV and...
Let that dog off that front porch, huh, man?
I mean, this is the other morning, Matt Lauer. I mean, he's Matt Lauer, whether he's not a bad person.
Of course not.
But I mean, he's such a Michael Jordan. The concept of being an entrepreneur really gets you juiced. Well, I mean, if you like somebody, then just and if it's going to be a kissy face suck up conversation, then just say that. Do like I did with Mike Wallace, to just say, look, Mr. Wallace, I love you. I have enormous respect for you. I was prepared to ridicule you, and but I'm not going to do that because I'm just not going to. And then have a conversation with him, and so everybody knows where you stand.
The approach should have been the approach to Jordan. Put on the Nike hat.
That's all. Just put your Nike hat on and then just do the interview. That's all you have to do. But don't try to, oh, come on.
He should be working with Giselle Fernandez.
Yeah. And even though little did we expect to get this information out of Wallace, and how did we know this? That these people who are profiled on 60 Minutes are allowed to pick the correspondent. I mean, would you ever suspect that?
No.
And then, of course, Walt is clearly contradicting himself in this bizarre assertion of his that there are no indiscreet questions.
Yeah. In which he then said, gave you an example of an indiscreet question.
Yeah. And then, of course, I was very happy that he couldn't name Barbra Streisand's most recent album. After talking about she can be forgiven for being one of the most tedious people on the planet because of her marvelous voice, which, to my ear, is like somebody sticking a chalk up the wrong way on a blackboard.
Fingernails on the blackboard.
Oh, God. Ella Fitzgerald had a great voice, you know. Willie Mae Big Mama Thornton had a great voice.
Get down now.
You know what I'm talking about?
I hear you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's who had a great voice.
Mm-hmm.
People like that. That's what I'm saying. Ruth Brown, she had a great voice.
hear
Laverne
that.
Baker, Dinah Washington had a great voice. God almighty, please. I mean, get back here. What you talking about?
Get back.
What you talking about here now?
You can believe that.
Yeah. It is 16 after the hour. Well, we have a lot more news, but we want to get Reverend Al on, so. All right, here now the Imus Morning Program, Reverend Al Sharpton.
When I scored, you score. All right. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't be, or because you may not have where others have, or come from where others come, you can't go where you want to go.
The people have spoken, I'm more than a token. Julianne ain't gonna be the one to be heartbroken. I always was a player, now I'm gonna be the mayor. Give Ruth the message, she ain't got a prayer. When I said I would run, well, everybody scoffed. Now I'm the one who's laughing cause we gotta run off. I'm the status quo's absolute worst nightmare. Gold chains and medallions and my jiffy pop hair. They say I'm too slick when I spout my rhetoric, like a lunatic with a superfly walking stick. But the other one I'm packing in my drawers make you sick. Make that plunger look like a toothpick. Got the juice and the flow, and there ain't no doubt all the bitches want me in they nappy dugout. Gonna get me some booty when I do my civic duty, and bust a cap out Rudy cause he blow like Hootie. I'm Reverend Allen, I know you all are wondering why. All of a sudden I got juice, chickens have come home to roost. I ain't no demagogue, champion of the underdog. Kiss me, diss me, I don't care, just don't be messing with my hair. I'm bigger than Smalls, more puff than daddy, so fly Tiger Woods wanna be my caddy. When I'm done with Messenger, you'll see that old hag covered in poop in a giant leaf bag. I got the skills and I got the finesse to get me into a crazy mansion address. Attitude may be a little high and mighty, but I got no fear cause I've been stabbed by Whitey. Nobody but me thought I ever had a chance, cause like Delbert, I was a victim of a circumstance. Used to be perceived as a media parasite till Abner Imus showed me the light. So don't count me out, cause the bell ain't rung, and the fat bitch with that horny helmet ain't sung. Tell Rudy Giuliani that he gonna be a goner. Biggie Sharp's gonna be the one they call his honor. I'm Reverend Allen, I know you all are wondering why. All of a sudden I got juice, chickens have come home to roost. I ain't no demagogue, champion of the underdog. Kiss me, diss me, I don't care, just don't be messing with my hair.
My hobbies in life, what? Sex, money, and murder. From your bitch, run up, fun, money from the crack. Death is a fact. Murder is a hobby, murder is a hobby, murder is a hobby that I had since way back. I live the bitches the way I live, pain and torture, believe in life. Sex, money, and murder.
Imus in the morning.
Pretty much putting distance between herself and Denise, and we can play the audio as well on the radio, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Which primarily, but we'd be interested in here.
Right.
So, what happened? That'll be coming up. What's this Maya Angelou thing you have, Chuck?
Well, it's just part of a poem that she read this morning on. There's a little bit of controversy around Ms. Angelou at the moment.
Bring me up to speed.
All right, she'd been the U.S. Poet Laureate, but parents at a North Carolina elementary school are outraged over a book of poems written by Ms. Angelou, who recited one of her newest poems this morning on the Today Show.
Sensuality is so important. Leers and lascivious smirks to the contrary. Sensuality does not necessarily lead to sex, nor is it meant to be a substitute for sex. Sensuality is its own reward.
An ode to sensuality. And South Mebane Elementary School teacher Les Seaver Davis thought this book would help his fourth graders appreciate Miss Angelou's writings, but one of the poems, entitled No, 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 includes the description of a sex act and a vulgar word for...
What?
Doo-doo. You know, for human, you know.
The S word?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Seaver Davis says he mistakenly brought the wrong volume of Angelou's poems to class. He says he, too, is shocked that anyone who could read a poem at a presidential inauguration could also write what he called such filth.
Girlfriend got to make it rhyme for the I-man. I know that does reveal my lack of formal education, but that's fine.
I didn't hear a whole lot of rhyme, but but that's fine.
If it's pink and it stinks.
No, Miss Angelou.
No, Miss Angelou. We're
Don't be no wussy. Start licking my...
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't want to know what you're saying.
Mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Imus in the morning.
Hi, this is Tony Kanza, founder of Blimpie Subs and Salads. When I was a kid, I had a vision.
Well, there's any handcuffs there. Got any bedpost, baby. Well, if it's a Super 8 motel, what you'll find is a clean, comfortable, spacious room for a price as affordable as it gets. Every Super 8 has a staff of great folks as well, always friendly and ready to help. So no matter which of the more than 1,600 Super 8s you visit in North America, you'll always feel welcome. Super 8 Motels. Give them a call, y'all. 1-800-8000. No, 1-800-800-8000. Life's, how could I screw their number up? 1-800-800-8000. Life's great at Super 8.
98.
So I walk back to my office, and she's standing there talking to Dana.
Yeah.
And she lifts her dress up. What was that all about? Why would you do that?
I'm wearing my leotards in case you want to ask me a fitness question. Get down on the floor and show you.
Okay, fine. I don't think it's necessary to lift your dress up for me to ask.
For fun.
Okay.
Pure fun.
Well, all right, but I mean...
Yeah, it is.
It's very troubling.
I hear that.
Well.
So anyway, Denise is going to be at Nobody Beats a Whiz today over on 5th Avenue.